party people. It is time to head over to our good old beach. We're going local tonight. Trying to catch the sunset. It's 6:18 p.m. right now. Sunset's at 6:41. So, just a couple blocks down. Driving on over. So if the lot is gonna charge, if there's an attendant at the lot that's gonna charge, I'm not gonna park here, and I'll go down to I don't know where, to the pier. But if they're if they're not gonna charge, then I'll just stay at the local spot here. Because I figure if I'm gonna pay $2 for parking, I'd rather go to the beach at the pier. But if I don't have to park, I pay parking, then I'll just stay. I want to catch the sunset because it's the best time for that. It's Sunday. I don't worship the sun or anything, but you know, it's nice to catch a sunset at the start of a week, because it's kind of like the official end of the weekend. And I don't know how people feel about things. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like setting intentions and things. I'm not 100% always doing that. But I like to. I noticed I've been watching a lot of movies this weekend. A lot of sports related movies. And there's often the common themes, either like somebody who comes into some type of a job, or you know, a field of sport, the type of sport, someone who comes into it, they get interested in it one way or another. It's something that they find pleasant or healing. I'll give some examples. These are all old movies. Blue Crush, the surf movie, Hardball with Keanu Reeves. There's quite a few others. Geez, I don't know there's like Sunset Park, the basketball movie, Above the Rim, with like Wesley Snipes, oldie but goodie. But I don't know. People are just darting out in front of cars today, I guess. But yeah, the movies with sports, you know, they seem to kind of start out with people just enjoying themselves, but they're like good, you know, good enough that people have eyes on them and they kind of go for it, you know. They're like, okay, let's go all the way with this, even though usually there's an obstacle. I tend to gravitate more towards like sports movies about like women in sports, or like different like ethnic minorities having kind of like the challenge of that in addition. But you know, I think something that's weird or interesting is that, you know, I'm kind of one of those people that has the interest in sports, but also you know, yeah, I have an interest in sports and playing sports, uh, and doing sports, and I grew up playing sports. But in addition to that interest, I've usually had, oh my gosh, there's not gonna be any parking. I'm sure there's not gonna be any free parking if there is any. Shit. Okay. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to be careful. But yeah, it's crowded. Let me see if there's an attendant. There's an attendant. I don't see an attendant. I could probably just stall right here. Park in this little stall with my big old car. But yeah, stay kind of sticking out. Beautiful, perfect. But yeah. That's definitely something that I've recognized is that, a lot of these sports movies have like a theme like that where yeah, all these sports kind of movies tend to have that theme, it's like something happens and then people start taking a risk. And I was kind of noticing, because I like the intellectual stuff as well as the athletic stuff. I've never been, I guess, ultra skilled in a way that's like, oh, like I'm gonna, find this easy to do. But I've definitely had an amount of persistence, an amount of, attention to just, being able to be persistent with people or with, whatever the task is that I'm trying to do. I've definitely hit those moments where I'm like, it's not easy, but it's like, okay, I'm doing it. But yeah, I just, I noticed that when it comes to, I guess, like goals or different types of different types of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Obviously, you can tell I obviously don't know what I'm trying to say. But different types of just like, I don't know, like just different environments and different who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's possible to like multiple things at once, but there's a lot of overlap with basically how things are, like how you kind of handle challenges, I guess. So even when it's like with sports related stuff, like, you still gotta have that endurance, and kind of same thing when it's not sports, when it's more like intellectual stuff, you've got to have that endurance. You've got to be structured, and other choices that you make throughout your day have to also align with what those goals are. It's like, well, if I'm going to work out or something, I'm probably not going to go get drunk first or the night before. If I know I'm going to go to the gym in the next morning, I'm probably not going to go out the night before and start like doing a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't ordinarily try and do, or things that would make it so it would be harder for me to at least be comfortable performance wise. Um, I mean, sometimes if you're with friends and just having a good time and just doing things kind of whatever way, that's fine. But it's like if you really have goals, like sometimes if I'm trying to like learn something or study something, if I just go to like the coffee shop or something, it's like with a friend, it's like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna get as much done, depending who I'm with. Sometimes I'd rather just talk to them, but I'm like, well, at least I got some stuff done. And sometimes it's nice to have the little distraction and like partly catch up, even if it's not like a full catch up. But like I was saying on Friday, and I did spend a lot of this weekend kind of thinking through more stuff. But like I was saying on Friday, I'm really trying to get a lot more distance on some goals. The pressure's creeping up. It's almost October. It's going to be October this week pretty soon. We've just got a couple more days of September remaining. With the Shotokan stuff, I've got 15. It's we're going to be almost at like 15 days. I'm going to combine that a little bit in here and just say that it's going well. The stuff with the Shotokan practicing, it's going well. I'm not done for today, but I did get in some practice earlier this morning. This guy looks like a friend of mine with a longboard, but that dog is not his. I don't know. I don't think that's him. But I kind of just, it's nice to kind of catch the sunset and just think about things. It's kind of crazy. You can see the sun and the moon out at the same time right now. It's pretty nuts. It looks really cool. But yeah, I'm basically gonna sit here till a little bit near when I need to actually use the restroom, and then I'm gonna go. But I've got my tea, my little ginger dandelion tea that I'm drinking. I cooled it down with some chilled water. Put some honey in it while it was still hot. And then I mostly ate Chipotle leftovers today. We've still got more left. But yeah. And it's always nice watching the sunset when people come and stand right in front of you. Great. She's gonna stand literally right in front of me. I think this guy's gonna keep walking. She's just taking a picture. Everybody wants a picture. But yeah, it's nice out. It's beautiful. It's Southern California. Like, I'm kind of I don't know, in maybe like 2 weeks I'm seeing if I'm gonna meet with this crew. But the person who's in town, or that I'm supposed to meet individually, I think she said after the first she'll be back, and then she might need like a week or so. And so in like a week, it's I'll see. check back with her, but she sent me an invite to something. It's not a date. I don't know what it is. It's just like some local group that I was like, I want to try to like chill with some locals. And she lives pretty local, so I was like, let me try to meet up with this local community group. It is kind of like through a religious theme, but they're Baha'i religion, and they're not as, I'd say, at least from my own personal experience, they're not as much of a cultural issue as far as diversity and like valuing people's differences. They don't tend to have that reputation, but it's still within American culture. And I am noticing that a lot of the people that I've talked to out in LA are Middle Eastern. I don't have a problem with this, but it is a little bit interesting. Because I've spoken to two people so far that are Middle Eastern people, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with them being Middle Eastern. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I know that usually their services and programs and their environments tend to be pretty multicultural, but that's not to say that it's not going to be multicultural. It's not to say that you know that they might still you know interact within their own kind of like an in-group thing, and also like depending where you live. LA is, I don't want to call it segregated in a way that's like you can't cross over different parts of the city or whatever. It's not like that. Like, it's open to all for the most part, relatively speaking, but certain people live in certain locations. There is still definitely like a very, very high population of certain races or ethnicities in certain areas. And I'm not like scared of the ethnicities or the cultures. It's more so just meeting new people. And I'm kind of forcing myself to do it. But it's somewhat within my comfort zone. But I think with this person, I'd rather meet with them one on one first, and then after we meet one on one, maybe go to their group thing. But I'm not sure if my dad's gonna be in town. It's the weekend before his birthday. His birthday is gonna be like a couple days after their meeting. So if he ends up being in town, I probably won't make it. But and maybe that's an excuse. But I'm not like super gung ho to going to people's houses, and like it's like a devotional thing, and I don't really want to like do worship services with people when I don't know what they're doing. So but I don't know. I'm kind of excited otherwise. But the sun's about to set. I'm gonna stop recording right now so I can just take it in a little bit more. I might jump back on this recording if I have more to say or not, but I'd rather just be kind of more in my own head and not talk about what I'm thinking.